That's when we came out with our first enzyme product, because I knew I was only eating 85 grams of protein a day. It really wasn't enough to support my muscle gains. So we developed a proteolytic enzyme blend so we could extract more amino acids out of what I was getting to augment my performance. And that turned my training into turbocharged. And over the next 2 years, I was able to get the gains that I needed to come in better than I had gone 4 years before. So in 2007, I was a better bodybuilder than I was in 2003. I was bigger, I was more muscular, I was healthier, I was happier. And it was after that event, I retired again. I said, okay, we figured this out. I've got this figured out. Now I need to teach people, because, everybody thought I was crazy. And even today, it's been almost 14, 15 years later, people are like, they're still shocked that I was able to do it. And I was able to do it because I was doing these other things. And proteolytic probiotics came along. We introduced those. And so my ability to extract the amino acids out of my protein is far superior to someone who's eating 2 or 3 times the amount of protein that I'm consuming that doesn't have those agents. And so that's my unfair advantage, if you will.
Talk more about the physiology of how that works.
So, I'm a classically trained nutritionist, and the ironic thing about almost every nutritional book that you read is there'll be a couple of paragraphs early on in the book, usually talking about the role of enzymes required with every single transmission. So you need enzymes to get your protein, protein to get your minerals, and minerals to get your vitamin. That is the chain of digestion, absorption, and utilization, which goes through essentially 5 stages of digestion. But enzymes are very interesting agents. They accelerate chemical transitions inside the body. They make the body run more efficiency. They are the difference between the living and the dead. They're the difference between stones, plants, and people is the amount of enzymatic capacity. Stones have no enzymatic capacity. Plants have some. People have a lot. In the human body, there's over 25,000 different enzymatic reactions that go in the body. Now, here's the part where I think is worth investigating. There was a guy by the name of Dr. Edward Howe back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. And he wrote a book called Enzyme Nutrition and Food Enzymes for Health and Longevity. And he ran a bunch of experiments. The first experiments were done by a famous experiment called Pottinger, who did these cats. And he fed one set of cats a raw food diet, one set of cats a cooked food diet. And by the 3rd generation, they had all these problems with the cats. So then Dr. Howe took those experiments and he did it on rats, he did it on rabbits, he did it on monkeys, he did it on dogs, he did it on all these different species. He fed one group no enzymes, one group a raw food diet, and one group a diet enhanced with enzymes. The group that had the enzyme deficient diet by 3rd generation lost the ability to procreate, showed weird sociological behavior, right? And had a massive advent of genetic-based diseases. The animals that were fed their regular raw food diet lived longer, didn't have the genetic diseases, stayed in the same social stuff. The ones that were augmented with enzymes lived longer than any of the groups and replicated at a higher level and seemed to have a healthier lifestyle than all 3 of them. So therefore, he came to the conclusion that if you had an enzymatically rich diet, that then got everybody to kind of jump onto, with like the Paul Braggs and all that groups, they started jumping onto these ideas of raw food diets. And I did a raw food diet for 2 years. But the problem is with the raw food diet is our raw food diets today still aren't rich in enzymes and probiotics because we've altered the food production and distribution over the last 80 years. So now we have food crops that have degenerated, food mineralizations, lack of enzymes, then the advent of chemicalization on herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, preservatives, dyes. All of these things disrupt our enzymatic activity inside the body. So not only are we not getting enough of these enzymes, which are essential in the breakdown of our foods into the energy units or building blocks of the body. And you talk to your doctor and says, well, your body makes enzymes. That's true. But when it makes enzymes, it has to convert proteins out of smooth muscle or striated muscle, convert those into digestive enzymes at huge metabolic cost. And that's why after turkey dinner, you have all this food, second helpings, pie, grandma's apple pie, whatever. What happens after? You've eaten your daily caloric limit and then some usually. Do you go out and run a marathon? Do you go out and lift weights? No. You at best you sprint to the couch or the floor or the rocking chair and everybody passes out and starts drooling. Well, why? Because the enzymes to run your brain, the enzymes to run your muscles are being shunted, converted, and used by your body to digest that massive meal that you just had. And so, as we continually put food into our bodies, because humans are the only species on the planet which cooks, irradiates, and pasteurizes its foods, which kill off the enzymes and probiotics, which are essential in order to break down, digest, absorb, and utilize that food. Well, what happens if you do this over generations? Well, Dr. Howell predicted in the 1940s that humans in 3 generations would show weird sociological behavior. They would start having a massive advent of genetic-based diseases, and they would lose the ability to procreate, which is the exact condition that we find all of ourselves in the industrialized world across the world. Interesting.